Welcome to another show of Sports Talk for You. Once again, I'm Aaron. This is Armand. This is Adam.
Hello.
We are here today to talk about college basketball, but first, we're going to do some quick points about Tom Brady and Antonio Brown and what our predictions are. And will Tom Brady come back, and will Antonio Brown get his life together and come back into the NFL next year?
Yes. So, first question. Where will Tom Brady end up?
I have a
Tennessee.
gut feeling that he'll end up being a Las Vegas Raider. I just have that feeling. It's
Yeah,
And
but
something
he bought
with
a
the
house
Raiders.
in Tennessee.
yes, he did, but who's closer and more fabulous? Las Vegas, Nashville. Yes, Nashville
Nashville's
is
the country.
Nashville is the
country.
Vegas of the or not the Midwest, but
The-
sometimes you're just gonna be the Raiders.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're glitzy.
Derek Carr's had his chance.
He has.
He's had years.
Yeah,
Yes.
but didn't he finish in like top 7 of yards thrown and accuracy and all that?
He did, but he throws the interceptions at the most cruel times.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
He's like a Dak Prescott.
He's not a
Jr.
fourth quarter comeback guy.
No, and he can't make the pass when you need him.
Exactly.
Which is why I have a small gut feeling he could end up with Dallas. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's probably far-fetched, and don't worry, I understand this is kind of a Pluto, out in Pluto type of a prediction, but I honestly think, because I don't think Dak Prescott's going to get his $40 million
No.
contract, and if he gets a franchise tag, I
He'll get
honestly...
$39 million.
39
39.5.
$9.5 million.
Yes. If he franchise tags, I honestly could see him holding out. Because he just doesn't seem like the type of guy that, hey, I'll take the franchise and I'll prove myself type of a
No,
thing.
he'll hold out.
And
I think
Cobble.
he'll hold out. And I just think Jerry Jones wants to win right now. And he's what, 76 years old, 78?
Yep.
He doesn't have very many years
But
left.
he don't care about winning. He
That's
kept Jason Garrett for 10
That's
years.
true.
All
But-
he cares about is putting the seats in the
Yes,
stands.
yes, the seal.
The clap is finally gone.
Clapper.
And can I just say, I feel like the Cowboys are finally STD free. The clap is gone. Okay? And it feels great.
Now the Giants got it.
Yes, now the Giants got it.
Yes.
Another NFC East.
Right. So, honestly, I see Brady to the Cowboys. And if not, then I think he'll go to his teammate, Tennessee. I know in past videos I said the Raiders, but it's just such a toss-up in the air. But I think it's down to those 3 teams, and we'll see what happens.
Someone's got to put butts in that new
Stadium
stadium in
I
Vegas.
hear you. Which makes sense. I mean, if he does go to the Raiders, but that'd be such a stacked conference.
Yeah.
You go from the worst conference to now
stacked.
to like one of the best conferences. Hey, teach their own, I
Hey,
guess.
3 AFC West
You know.
teams could make the playoffs.
They
next
could.
year.
They could.
Possibly.
And I wouldn't be shocked.
Because we know the AFC
Yep.
South sure as hell ain't going to do it.
Anyway, we know my Denver Broncos will somehow make a terrible trade, pick up in the draft. Thanks, John
They'll get rid
Elway.
of Drew Lock, who should be their franchise quarterback.
Exactly. So,
All right, now
Anyway.
move on to Antonio Brown. I heard some stupid conversations this week that, he might end up back with the Raiders. No, Raiders are not going to go after
No.
Antonio Brown after what he
No.
did to them.
and if anything, I could see him going back to Pittsburgh, kind of like that prodigal son story.
Yeah, but
But
I just don't see him being with Mason Rudolph.
After
Well-
what else happened, transpired in the offseason, late this year, whatever, he's done.
You think he's done?
He's not come back to the NFL.
You
He's
don't think he'll get his
finished.
life together?
No, he's
Really?
finished.
okay.
He's done.
This is just my other theory on Antonio Brown. I don't know if he'll end up with a team to begin with, but I honestly could see a team halfway in the season that if they're close to making a run, they'll go after him.
Oh, the Patriots will get him back somehow.
Some-
You
Yes.
know that'll happen. They
Yeah.
always do. They go after those guys.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon.
Right. But here's the deal: would he go to the Patriots if Tom Brady is not there?
No, not even close.
Not even close?
No.
Okay. Well,
Why go to the Patriots when the best quarterback over the past 20 years is not there? Why even bother?
right.
One more NFL thing I want to touch on, and we'll kind of get into it and finish it next show because we want to get into college basketball. Should Myles Garrett, was it the right call to reinstate him?
I think it was. You know, everybody deserves a second chance, in my opinion. So, but he's on a short leash.
I mean, if DeSouza only gets 12 games for raising a chair and getting ready to throw it at somebody, you might as well just Of course, Myles Garrett did actually hit the.
Oh, no, don't forget the FBI thing with
Yes,
D'Souza,
the
too.
FBI,
I
yes.
mean, now he's on, like, strike 3 almost, you know?
Yeah.
I was shocked. Honestly, I was shocked he was not dismissed after that.
Yeah.
So,
The thing
anyway.
is, though, he's still suspended. But after that 12th game, is Bill Self going to play him, or is he going to?
Oh, he'll find a way to play him.
Oh, yes.
So,
He'll find a way. I mean, he's that investment. You know, that's why he got in trouble by the FBI. You know, it's like Arizona with DeAndre Ayton. You know, that the Arizona part of the FBI is a whole other video.
Yes.
But I mean, if you technically spend that much, I mean, you're just going to sit him on the bench. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that just
Speaking
not
of-
the way to go.
Speaking of college basketball, let's get into it. Of course, our Sharks got a big win last night at UCF by 17.
Yes.
Arizona Wildcats struggled against Cal, but they pulled away late, got a big win. Top 4 teams. We got Baylor, Gonzaga, San Diego State, Kansas. Which one of those 1 seeds gets beat early?
Well, I don't even think San Diego State is going to be a 1 seed. I honestly see
They have
them
them as
losing.
number 2 overall right now.
Oh, I get that. And they're undefeated. But honestly, I see them losing 1 game between now and the tournament. And I think it will drop them to a 2 seed or a 3 seed.
They're just in a weak-ass conference.
They really
Too
are.
weak. I mean, they're like the Valley of Wichita State when
Correct.
Wichita State was 35.
Correct. And
That
their
was a
leash
terrible
is
year in
right.
Valley basketball.
And they have no leash on
Yeah.
that conference.
No, they don't. It just reminds me, you look at their schedule, the only team they really beat of significance was Creighton.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
beat
Beat them
Creighton
30.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's just like Wichita State a few years ago. I look at their schedule right now, I don't see them losing
Yeah.
until the NCAA tournament unless they get tripped up in their conference tournament.
Maybe they'll get
Right.
compared up with Kentucky like Wichita State.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, they can compare
Yeah,
it with
they
us.
could.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go.
Get paired
Why
up
not?
with us. We
Why
can take
not?
them down.
Do you see Gonzaga losing?
No,
I don't either.
no, not at all.
That team's just stacked.
Yeah.
I mean, their conference is terrible. I know. I
But then
understand
again,
they got
people didn't see
BYU and
them
all
losing in
that.
2013.
Yeah.
And
And
I
did
mean-
St. Mary's get beat pretty handily the other night?
yeah, they
Yeah.
beat St. Mary's by
Yeah.
40 the other night.
Yeah.
That just tells you BYU.
Not really.
I don't know.
Pepperdine. No.
uh,
I can't even think of the other.
San
Teams.
Francisco.
Hey, Gonzaga, just move to the American Conference.
Yes.
And you'll get a better competition.
Speaking of that, wasn't there a rumor about that?
A few weeks ago, there was a rumor that, Boise State is in the Mountain West, and they're doing some reconfiguration there. Boise State's not happy with it.
Right.
And the American had initially contacted BYU. BYU had no interest. So with Missouri State, the Boise State, not happy with certain things in the Mountain West, they could possibly bring BYU to the American, which will make a lot more sense. You still got that geographically deal with teams in the Midwest, with
Right.
the Texas teams, with Wichita State, and then the other rumor was if BYU can come in, Doug can bring Gonzaga, which would be a epic.
Yeah.
It would be. And let it be known, I will be going to the Wichita Gonzaga game. One
Speaking
way
of, if
or
they're
another.
talking about because of their football school, the Americans got one of the best footballs.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They had 4 teams ranked in the top 25 this year.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So don't give me this. Oh,
Yeah.
it's because of football. No, the
And-
American is a lot better than the Mountain West Conference.
Exactly,
In
and
football
Boise State
and
is always
basketball.
ranked in the top 25 in football.
And do you have 2 schools currently that are not football schools? I know Wichita
Wichita
State's one.
State and no, I think that's it.
I think
That's it.
Wichita State's the only
State,
one.
because
The only
Navy,
one. Okay.
Navy replaces Wichita State.
Because if you did bring in Gonzaga, I don't think they're a football
No,
school
they're
at
not.
all.
Football
So
school, no.
that would make sense, you
So that
know.
would put, yeah.
But
Even baseball, there's only 10 American teams in baseball.
right, and I really hope that this ends up happening. Because honestly,
Gosh,
I
hope
am
so.
tired. I'm just tired. I think the thing that annoys me the most about Gonzaga is always talking about how weak their conference is. And it just reminds me of Wichita State. And at least Wichita State had the brains to then switch conferences. Because let's be honest, in real, the Missouri Valley was not going to cut it anymore.
No.
Especially.
Oh, but don't tell Shocker fans that. Some Shocker fans still believe Missouri Valley's better than the American.
Which is absolutely
But right
is
now,
that?
the
incredibly-
American has 3 teams in the tournament. Right now, the Valley's only got 1.
Yeah.
And the
Three-
Valley has gotten weaker since Wichita State has left.
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all.
No,
And last time I went to school, 3 was greater than 1.
right,
So,
exactly.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all. Should we go to the Pac-12 real quick?
Go ahead,
Pac-12.
Pac-12, baby.
I can
What a disaster.
figure out that league.
I can't figure it out either. You know, and we did play Cal yesterday, and Cal was 10-13, but they actually have beaten some good teams in the
Well,
Pac-12.
and I don't get how
and
Colorado gets beat to Northern Iowa at home and then goes to Oregon and almost knocks them off. Like,
Well, welcome to college basketball this year.
This
But
year,
this
yes.
this is what annoys me the most about the Pac-12 is their non-conference schedule. They don't show up to teams like Fordham or some other random team that you never hear of, and they lose to them.
yeah.
Oh, but then you go into the Pac-12 season, and the top tier teams who actually do well in the non-conference get ranked. Oh, those bottom feeders in the Pac-12 always somehow end up beating the top tier teams. Therefore, it makes that conference legitimately the eat your own conference.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's been that way for at least 15 years, and it is the most annoying thing I've ever seen. And it's so funny to me how, like, when there's the NCAA tournament or a football conference, you know, the bowl games, everyone's like, oh, but I go for the conference during those times. Not this guy. I cannot stand any other Pac-12 school other than Arizona. I mean, that's just my team. That's where I was born, and I've been a consistent follower.
I got to give Colorado some props. You know,
Tad
Tad
Boyle,
Boyle,
former
Wichita State.
assistant under Turgeon.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tad Boyle's a great coach. At one point, he was
Right.
going to be the heir apparent to Turgeon before he left, before Turgeon went.
Right.
But for the Pac-12, for me, I got to go with Colorado because
It's fine.
because
Speaking of
that.
assistant coaches, Chris Jans and Steve Forbes. Forbes at East Tennessee State, Chris Jans at New Mexico State. Both those teams right now are on the 7-8 seed line.
Well, there you go.
Only the best learn under Greg Marshall.
Going-
Exactly.
Right. And Greg Marshall is a great coach.
Yes.
And so let me look into
Oh, the
this camera.
hashtag.
Hold on.
Hashtag
Let me look
fire
into this.
Greg Marshall.
As a guy who does not really have a dog in the race with Wichita State, okay, you cannot sit there and tell me hashtag fire Greg Marshall.
After a 3-game
Ridiculous.
losing
Because
streak.
I guarantee you that if anything happens to Sean Miller based on the FBI scandal, I guarantee you Arizona will go after Greg Marshall. Mark it down. Now, whether he picks Arizona is another story.
Now, my thing is Indiana going hashtag fire Archie Miller after their 3-game losing streak, and then they beat Iowa by
A lot.
15 last
Yep.
night?
Or even Memphis going to hashtag fire Penny.
Hardaway. Well, I mean, I'm kind of with that.
You
band
you
there.
take a look at the American Conference, Wichita State and Memphis, the 2 youngest teams in the American
And
Conference.
they're still 5th
Right.
and 6th in the conference.
Absolutely. Greg Marshall took a team that was
Youngest in the nation.
youngest in the nation last
To
year
the Final
to
Four
the
NIT.
NIT Final Four, and these stupid Wichita State fans want to get rid of them after a losing streak. Give me a break, for God's sakes. If you want to get rid of Greg Marshall, go somewhere else.
Yes.
Be a fan of some other team. Greg Marshall gets these guys ready to play every single game, even though sometimes they may not respond, but Marshall gets it done every single time.
Go up to Manhattan where Bruce Rever kisses his players.
Don't get me started on that guy, please. No. But back to Greg Marshall, I honestly think he is a top 3 coach in the NCAA.
Absolutely.
Because here's why. You look at the struggles of North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
They got a few 5-star recruits, right? Yet they're 10 in like 14?
They're terrible.
They are terrible. And that's because their star player got injured. Their real downfall started when their big man, that Peacock, I think is his name, got injured. But it just shows you that unless they have those players, they can't coach. And I feel the same way about Coach K. Although you can make the case about this year because this year he's had, I mean, other than Stanley, that Stanley guy,
They don't really have anybody.
they don't really have anybody. So he's done a decent job. So I won't technically
Look
throw
how
him
bad
under
Michigan
the
State was without Cassius.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. So guys, Greg Marshall is a top 3 to top 5 coach in the NCAA. So to sit there after a loss and say fire Greg Marshall is absurd because none of these other coaches could take that young of a team and get the production that he has gotten from them. And even this year, aren't you guys like the 4th youngest team in the
Fourth
Yes,
youngest
fourth
team
country
in the
in the country.
country, yes.
Yeah, and to see what he has done
18 and
with
6.
them, I mean, honestly, he's like set apart from everybody else, in my opinion.
And when you have
So-
a young team, you're going to have a certain part of the season where you're going to act like you're the 4th youngest team
Wichita
in the
State
country.
Final Four run. We went
Exactly.
on a 3-game losing streak
Right.
in the Valley.
Right.
And we
In
still
the
went to
Valley.
Final
The
Four.
only other coach that I've seen semi do what Greg Marshall has done is Mark Few of Gonzaga.
Absolutely.
Because he hasn't
Absolutely.
gotten to where he is without having to prove himself like he has in the past. Starting in the late 90s, I believe, was the first time I heard of Gonzaga, and they beat Washington in the NCAA tournament that one year. And that, for me, helped put them on the map. And ever since then, Mark Few has taken lesser talent and has exploded with them, and now he's actually gotten rewarded, in my opinion, with better recruits because now the recruits are seeing that this guy's for real. I mean, set aside what you think about Gonzaga. I think they're kind of an annoying team, but you know,
And
but
he doesn't
I'll
get
give
one
him
and dones either.
No,
he
he
does
doesn't.
not get one and dones.
He doesn't, and neither does Greg Marshall.
No.
And so to just see them build, get the maximize capacity out of those types of players, I'm sorry, you're a great coach.
Yes.
I mean, that's just it. Because honestly, I don't see Coach K doing that, what Greg Marshall's done. I honestly definitely don't see Roy Williams
No.
doing that. And
And
hi,
this year's
John
proven.
Calipari. I don't even see you doing that. So, anyway,
With your one and dones and
yep.
help
right.
from Nike or whatever you get help from.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
And I just love real quick that in the FBI scandal, that the guy who took the stand said that yes, these schools were involved. That's Arizona, Kansas, South Carolina, Auburn. But he said, do not think Kentucky, North Carolina, and Duke do not have their process going with them. So, and it just goes back to, you know, Tubby Smith, great coach. He coached at Kentucky. He could barely get the 5-star recruits to come in
then
and play for
Calipari
him.
comes in.
And then all of a sudden, Calipari comes in, and you're getting about, 8 to 10 of them?
Yeah.
Don't tell me something's not fishy.
And
I'm sorry.
Didn't Tubby win a national championship with the Kentucky?
Yep.
Yeah, he
Yeah, has
did.
Calipari won a national championship
Nope.
with the Kentucky?
Well, he won
One
one.
with Anthony Davis
Anthony
and
Davis,
John
yeah,
Wall.
yeah.
So,
That's when he beat KU.
But
Yeah.
then
That's
he went
right.
to the NIT the next year.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So-
And lost to Robert Morris in the first round.
Yeah.
oh, isn't that fun?
I
That's just
remember that.
All
so,
right.
Anyway,
Next show, we're going to do our bracketology,
yeah,
pick our 68 teams.
sounds good.
I'm going to do
Outstanding.
that. I'm going to pick my 68 teams here. I have a good idea. Of course, I'll have Wichita State in, although see how they do the next 5 games. Next 2 games
Yeah.
are very
And
winnable.
just to remind Shocker fans, even bracketology people are smarter than you guys.
Yes.
With this 5 out of 7 losing streak, Wichita State was still placed 11th. Which is what they have done in the Valley? Hell to the no.
No, No.
Even Jerry Palm has us as a 9 seed, and that guy hates Wichita State.
Exactly.
So, we're going to wrap it up. Next time we'll do bracketology on our bracketology show, and then we'll get more into the MLB, new playoff changes, how everybody thinks about that. Me and him have our disagreements.
Yeah, I love it.
So that'll be a good show, and it'll be a good conversation to talk about.
I'll go skip Bayless with you.
So again, please click on the subscribe that's on the screen, subscribe to my channel,
Smash the like button.
watch the other videos that are up on this channel. I
Yes.
promise you they're fun to watch. We make a lot of good points. So the more you like our videos, please subscribe, and you will love it.
And pass them on to your friends and family.
Exactly.
Yes.
You all have a good day now.